Hey there, CPO here, and I'm here with another tidbit on pilot training. And specifically, I want to talk to you about the pilot training triangle. And I know you've never heard about that before because, quite frankly, I just made it up. Trademark, patent pending, copyright, dibsies, shotgun, whatever. Anyway, so you've probably heard of the fire triangle. The fire triangle is a concept that there are three sides of a triangle and there are three components to fire that all must exist for fire to happen. That's oxygen and heat and fuel. So if any of those are missing, fire doesn't happen. So I was thinking about training for my private pilot's license, and I developed this concept, at least mentally, called the pilot training triangle. The way I see this is there are three components that if any one of them are missing, pilot training doesn't happen. And what I have is money, time, and support. So sounds pretty simple, but let me break it down. And this is kind of what I went through as I was trying to develop the time frame for my training, is when I was going to start it. I needed these three things in place. So money. Obviously, training for your private pilot's license takes money. There's a significant amount of money to invest for a lot of people. And there's another tidbit about my funding method for this. But point being is that you need to set aside the money to get you through the training. I've heard of people talking about getting half of the money put together to at least get started and then fund the other half as you get going. I put aside more money than I actually going to need, like 50% more, just to give me a little bit of cushion. My goal is not to run out of money, because I know several people who didn't finish their training because they ran out of money. Of equal importance is time. Being able to commit the time to get your training, flying 2 to 3 times a week, or maybe even more, up to the point where you get your check ride, is a significant commitment of time. I'm expecting to take maybe 6 months, maybe more, maybe less, but somewhere around there. But I had to think through the timing. Can I commit that level of time for 6 months? It's going to be a little bit of a sacrifice for me. What about the time of year? Is the weather going to hold up long enough, consistently enough for me able to get through daylight? There's a reason I started early spring, so that I have the better part of early mornings and in daylight after work, and the weather is a little bit more predictable this time of year. So that was important as well. And then the last one, which arguably, at least in my opinion, for me, is one of the more important components, and that's support. I needed the support of my wife to be able to pull this off. And if you're not married, you don't have that problem, but I have a commitment to my family. I have a commitment to my employer. So getting support from my wife, and actually getting support from my employer to be able to let them know that I'm going to be on a kind of a weird schedule, and I'd like to try and maybe sneak out early or come in late on some days so I can get some training done. That was important to me. So if my wife isn't supportive, then it just doesn't happen, period. That's it. Money, time, and support. That's my triangle for successful pilot training. So your mileage may vary, but thanks for watching, and until the next time, fly safe.